Alright, everybody's asking for a video how to remove an EFI system without having to pull everything apart on the top. So you got to take the exhaust off, take the throttle cable off. I got it just hanging down here. And after you get this whole back off, you take your 12 millimeters out of here, and there's two 12 millimeters here. And that pulls off your rear bracket. Now, after you do that, everything can slide forward. So I got the head temp sensor undone. I'm gonna pull my two tins out, so we have more air tins in there. Now you have to take the one ground off right here, remove that. The older ones have this plate. If you do have this plate, take it off and throw it in the trash can. That's what's rubbing your wires, and you'll see when I pull this off here. So I've got the 12 millimeters off for the intakes, and the most important part is your crank position sensor. When you're pulling that intake forward, you have to make sure that you do not stress this line out. You want to keep it loose while you're pulling it off. That's the last thing we have to pull. So now for the electrical, hold that right there. For the electrical, and before you touch your engine, anytime, you always undo your battery. Okay, we're gonna take our take this off, take our main line off. Most gator tails come with this line having a direct. This one comes with it going into the main lug just fine. All that does is that wire just charges the battery. It doesn't matter where it comes in. This and this are your two ones for your EFI. Then you undo your fuel pump. Now this one had an aftermarket fuel pump. So when I pull this 12 millimeter out right here, what I do is I take it and put it in the end of the fuel line. That way your fuel line stays clean, nothing gets in it. Everything's good to go. Now that I've got everything off, I replace my starter nut so you don't lose that. Undo both of your connectors. Every connector that you reinstall needs to have dielectric grease back on it. So now this is all free, and if you look in the very back here, you can see where the wires are dragging that little plate that I said needed to be thrown away. That needs to happen. So what I'm going to do is put my hand under here like this, and then I'm going to walk around to the front, and I'm going to slowly pull it forward. Now, I've got enough room to get my finger in here, so I'm going to push down on the clip and push up for my crank position. I'm going to have to use two hands. Push down on the clip, push up. My crank position sensor is undone now. So everything, I'm going to come back here, push up on this wire, slide the whole entire EFI system off. Easy peasy. That's how you do it. Saves a lot of time, a lot of headache, unless you're modding something on there. I've already got another one for it. This one had a lot of aftermarket wiring on it, so basically you have to go through. It had the factory fuel pump module with the ground. This here goes to the clutch system. So I've got everything right here. Got my head temp sensor, got my back plate off, got everything undone. All I'm going to do, unclip the crank position sensor. That's off. We're done. This one doesn't have the plate. Take the whole entire EFI system off. We're done. See how the plate's removed? This is smart. This is what you want to do with all EFIs, because that plate sitting across there, we'll go back and look at that one. The plate sitting across there, all it does is rub wires, and it ends up causing issues in the future. This little this little metal piece right here, it does come with a little cover for it. It doesn't help at all. Take those two screws out, throw this plate in the trash, be done with it. So now we've got an engine, and we're ready to pull it off. Everything's undone. we can take the reverse and everything off, have the engine ready to rebuild, problem solved.